Every war has its ghosts. In the frost-bitten fields of eastern Ukraine, that ghost wasn't a soldier or a phantom tank. It was a secret, a creeping, silent procession of Russian military might. This was not a typical frontline brawl. This was a hunt. A multi-day, high-stakes game of hide-and-seek played across hundreds of miles of Ukrainian territory. Why? Because this convoy carried what Russia thought was a guaranteed victory. The fuel, the rockets, the high-value electronics meant to turn the tide of the entire war in a critical sector. For the men of Ukraine's reconnaissance teams, this was more than a mission. It was a moral obligation. They knew what would happen if this convoy reached the front. They knew the cost would be measured in Ukrainian blood. The initial tip-off was a whisper, a flash of heat signature deep behind enemy lines. Russia, desperate to resupply their collapsing positions, had attempted the impossible, moving dozens of heavy logistics trucks and armored escorts under the veil of darkness and poor weather. They used every trick in the book: false routes, radio silence, even painting vehicles to match civilian designs in old aerial photos. But they didn't account for the unseen eye, the high-altitude surveillance of a handful of dedicated Ukrainian operators. Think of it as a chess match played across a country-sized board. For 72 agonizing hours, the Ukrainian teams tracked the ghost convoy, relying on satellite feeds, thermal optics, and human intelligence passed through tiny, anonymous villages. The rules of the hunt were simple, but terrifying. Do not engage too early. An armored convoy is a heavily defended monster. If you strike a single truck, the rest scatter, melting back into the tree-line, and the mission fails. They had to wait. Wait until the convoy was completely exposed. Wait until it was forced into a single, undeniable choke point where escape was impossible and the destruction could be total. The clock was ticking on Ukrainian defenses, and with every kilometer the convoy advanced, the danger grew. Finally, on the third night, a break in the trees, a narrow dirt road leading through a gully. The single perfect kill box. The Russians were exhausted, confident they had beaten the watch. They couldn't have been more wrong. The targeting team made their move. Not with a massive, indiscriminate barrage, but with surgical precision. The weapon of choice, a long-range artillery system, guided by the flawless optics of a high-end reconnaissance drone hanging silently miles above the earth. The plan was devastatingly simple: isolate the head and the tail. Two separate strike packages were prepared. The first projectile, a precision-guided munition, was aimed directly at the lead vehicle, a command and control truck. Sound design, a low, rhythmic, fast-paced beeping, mimicking a targeting lock. Tension rising. The operator, thousands of miles from the front line, had his finger on the trigger. He could see the Russian soldiers below, unaware, perhaps even relaxing for the first time in days. This is the moment where the line between technology and human action becomes thin. 5 seconds to impact. The entire success of the mission, the lives of dozens of Ukrainian soldiers at the front, rested on this single, perfect coordinate. The lead truck gone. But that was just the beginning. The convoy, now blocked from moving forward, was suddenly a stationary target. Before the Russians could even process the hit, the second strike package landed. This time, targeting the fuel tankers and the munitions carriers clustered in the middle. Sound design. Multiple, massive secondary explosions, a continuous roaring fire sound, and crackling metal. And that's when the massive explosion we promised in the title happened. The heat signature on the drone feed wasn't just a fire, it was a detonation wave. The secret weapons, the essential supplies, the fuel, all turned into a monstrous, searing inferno. In under 1 minute, the ghost convoy was gone, wiped off the map. A decisive, irreversible destruction of a major military asset. This wasn't just hardware lost. This was a critical blow to Russia's logistics chain, already considered the Achilles heel of their entire military campaign in Ukraine. For a modern army to function, it needs 3 things: fuel, ammunition, and food. Disrupt one, you slow the advance. Destroy an entire convoy, and you halt entire battalions. Experts estimate the value of this single convoy at a conservative $25 to $40 million, not just in vehicles, but in specialized, hard-to-replace cargo. More importantly, the time required to reconstitute that material, to find the specialized spare parts, the rockets, the high-grade fuel, can't be bought with money. It's measured in weeks of stalled offensives. When this explosion lit up the night sky, the command officers waiting for those supplies knew their planned attack, likely set for the following morning, had just become impossible. Beyond the material loss, the psychological fallout is critical. This strike proves that even Russia's most careful, secret movements deep in their own rear are now vulnerable to Ukrainian intelligence and precision firepower. It breeds paranoia amongst Russian commanders and forces them to dedicate ever more resources to convoy protection, draining manpower from the actual front line. Every driver, every soldier protecting a transport column now knows they are being watched by an unseen eye and that their location could become a smoking crater at any second. This is the true nature of the new age of warfare. The success of this mission is a case study in modern reconnaissance and targeting. The long-range weapon that delivered the final blow is only as good as the eyes that guide it. In this conflict, those eyes belong to the drones. The Ukrainian unit responsible for this hunt likely combined several technologies. First, a high-altitude, long-endurance hail drone, perhaps a heavily modified commercial or military reconnaissance model, provided the initial wide-area surveillance. This drone can stay airborne for hours, quietly mapping the convoy's slow, cautious movement. This is the patience phase. Second, the data was cross-referenced with human intelligence, HUMINT. Ukrainians living in the occupied areas are often the earliest warning system, passing tiny, encrypted signals about movement. This highlights the emotional and human aspect of the war. Every successful strike relies on the bravery of ordinary citizens risking their lives to pass information. Third, once the convoy entered the kill box, smaller, tactical drones were deployed. These are the final precise spotters. They loiter directly over the target, confirming coordinates for the incoming strike with near-perfect accuracy. These tactical drones ensure that the expensive, long-range missile or shell isn't wasted. They are the ultimate example of clear delivering, making sure the high-value munition hits the high-value target. The entire system requires seamless digital integration. The sensor data must flow from the drone to the command post, to the artillery battery, and back to the spotter in near real time. The Russian military, historically reliant on cumbersome analog systems, continues to struggle to match this rapid digital tempo, and it's costing them vital equipment like this convoy. This is the key takeaway. The speed of information wins the modern war. To fully appreciate the significance of this explosion, we have to look back at military history. This entire operation is a masterclass in the ancient art of the ambush, updated for the 21st century. Historically, the best ambushes rely on three things: surprise, terrain, and a choke point. Surprise. Ukraine achieved this not by hiding in a ditch, but by hiding in the digital landscape, remaining an unseen presence above the clouds. Terrain. The natural gully and narrow dirt road forced the convoy into a straight, immobile line, maximizing the destructive potential of the strike. Choke point. By hitting the lead vehicle first, Ukraine created an immediate, physical obstacle that prevented the rest of the column from escaping or maneuvering to fire back. We see echoes of the German blitzkrieg tactics, where speed and overwhelming firepower were used to punch through and scatter enemy forces. Only here, Ukraine, as the numerically smaller force, used precision and intelligence to achieve the same paralyzing effect. It is a reversal of roles. The defender, using superior strategy, became the predator. The failure of the Russian security elements to detect the overwatching drone or the incoming munition underscores a major doctrinal weakness. The sheer effort Russia puts into hiding a convoy like this demonstrates they know the risk. Their failure to protect it shows a fundamental gap in their electronic warfare, EW, and counter-UAS, unmanned aerial system, capabilities. This gap is where Ukraine continues to clickbeat the larger enemy force, turning Russian weaknesses into massive Ukrainian victories. The destruction of this secret convoy sends a clear geopolitical message far beyond the front lines. To Kyiv and its Western allies, this strike is proof that Western aid, particularly precision munitions and advanced surveillance sharing, is not just being used effectively, it is achieving disproportionate results. It increases confidence in Ukraine's military intelligence and keeps the pipeline of aid flowing, essential for maintaining their war effort. To Moscow, the message is one of vulnerability. Every attack on a deep rear logistics hub raises the domestic temperature in Russia, fueling questions about the competence of their high command. It validates Ukraine's strategy of attrition, which focuses on destroying the support structure of the Russian army faster than it can be replaced, rather than engaging in direct, costly, head-on assaults. The future of war. This video documents a perfect example of a phenomenon called the transparent battlefield. There are fewer and fewer places to hide. The hunt for this convoy demonstrated that large, centralized movements of material, the lifeblood of conventional war, are now critically endangered. Future warfare will prioritize small, dispersed units, redundancy, and concealment over everything else. The dramatic success here will be studied by militaries around the world, confirming that high-engaging video footage is also crucial military doctrine. The convoy's fiery end wasn't just a physical explosion. It was an explosive piece of evidence proving that technology, when applied with skill and courage, can still overcome raw military mass. The destruction of Russia's secret convoy is a story of incredible patience, lethal precision, and unwavering resolve. It's a testament to the ingenuity on the Ukrainian side that continues to shock the world. If you want to stay on top of how high-stakes military strikes like this one are changing the map of the Ukraine war every single week, then make sure you are subscribed. Tap the subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive. They waited till midnight, then blew up Russia's command center. Let me know in the comments below, what single piece of technology do you think was the most critical in taking down this convoy? Was it the long-range missile, the recon drone, or the intelligence tip? Your thoughts make this conversation better. Thank you for watching. We will continue to track the war with the same dedication and detail. See you in the next video.